Bismillah ar-Rahman ar-Rahim. Now we will assess our knowledge in the female genital system data show by taking this trial test. I hope all of you are ready now to perform the test. Let's go now. The first slide here, it shows a follicle and surrounding tissue showing other follicles. Identify the organ, it is the ovary. Name the cell pointed to by the arrow 1. These cells are the follicular cells forming the granulosa. So they are the follicular granulosa cells. Number 3 or C, these cells are part of which follicle? As long as you can see cavities, multiple cavities, or one small cavity, crescent shape, it is the secondary follicle. So it is the secondary follicle due to the presence of multiple ovarian cavities. Arrow 2 points to primordial follicle. These are the primordial because it is surrounded by one layer of flat squamous cells, which are the follicular cells. Now identify the organ. Of course, these are multiple follicles present in a connective tissue stroma, showing these spindle-shaped cells, and these are the ovarian follicles. So this the ovary. The red circle surrounds, this is the red circle surrounds this ovarian follicle. It shows the primary oocyte and one layer of follicular cells in the form of simple cubical epithelium. So this unilaminar primary follicle. Unilaminar primary follicle. Then the blue circle here surrounds the primordial follicle because it shows one layer of simple squamous epithelium. Now identify the organ. Of course, it is the ovary because we have follicle and background of stroma showing spindle-shaped cells, stromal cells. This is the ovary. The red circle surrounds which follicle? Here I can see granulosa cells in the form of stratified cuboidal epithelium. I cannot see cavities, so this is a multilaminar primary follicle. The blue star lies in the cortical stroma, as you see in between the ovarian follicles. Number 4, this is a section in the ovary. Name the type of the follicles 1 and 2. 1 here, single layer of simple cuboidal epithelium, so surrounding of course the primary oocyte, and this is the nucleus with the prominent nucleolus. So this is the unilaminar primary follicle. Number 2, here we have the primary oocyte surrounded by one layer of flat squamous cells. This is the follicular cells, and this follicle will be the primordial follicle. The red star lies in the cortical stroma اللي هي بيبقى فيها cortical stromal cells اللي هي later on في development في follicles will form the theca folliculi. And here you can see a capsule of the tunica albuginea. Number 5, identify the organ, the ovary. The red circle surrounds this one. In this one, you can see here in the granulosa cells, we have multiple cavities. Here, the appearance of the cavities in the granulosa cells denotes the presence of the secondary follicle. But of course, it is an early secondary follicle because the cavities are not joined together to form a crescent shape one cavity. This is the red. This is the red will be the early secondary follicle. The yellow one circles what it is, the primary oocyte, the zona pellucida, and we have here one layer of simple cuboidal epithelium. So this is the unilaminar primary follicle. Now this slide, name the structure. It is the mature Graafian follicle. The yellow, red, green stars. هنا هنجد هنا الجرين في الانتروم. The red is in the granulosa cells surrounding the oocyte, which can be named as Camulus oophorus. Here we have the primary oocyte that will change to secondary just before the ovulation. Number C, here the yellow and red arrows. Yellow arrow, it denotes the zona pellucida, the yellow arrow. The red arrow here, it denotes the corona radiata cells. The blue arrows point cells named the granulosa cells. The red line limits the layer which is called theca folliculi. يبقى هنا اللاير الخارجية خالص after the base membrane اللي هي theca folliculi. Number 7, identify the organ ovary. The structure that fills the section, it is what? It is ovarian follicle. What type of ovarian follicles? I cannot see here cavities, so and we have many layers of follicular cells, so this is the multilaminar primary follicle. In the multilaminar primary follicle here you can see the zona pellucida, and this is the nucleus, this is the nucleolus. Here we have the blue star lies in, the blue star is in the cortical stroma. If he asks you about this red arrow, these are the granulosa cells. يبقى دول الgranulosa cells. This one is the zona pellucida. This cell is the primary oocyte. This structure is the nucleus. This structure is the nucleolus. And then we have here the stroma cells أو cortical stroma هنا present around this multilaminar primary follicle. يبقى هنا خلي بالك طالما ان مفيش عندك cavities يبقى على طول هتبقى تقول دي المالتيلامينر primary follicle. لو ظهرت cavities هيبقى في الحالة دي بنقول the secondary follicle، لكن هنا مفيش cavities عشان كده هتبقى دي على طول المالتيلامينر primary follicle. Number 8. This is the fallopian tube, of course, because of the marked folding of the mucosa. The star lies in the lumen. The layers are, number 1, it is the mucosa. Number 2, it is the musculosa. And here 1 and 2 only. He is not asking about the serosa. Identify the organ, of course, fallopian tube. The red line traverses the mucosa, while the blue one lies in or defines the or limits the musculosa. Here we have the blue star in the lumen, and this is the mucosa, and this is the musculosa. Identify the organ. I have a hollow organ with a collapsed lumen, and this lining is the endometrium because this organ is the uterus. The red line traverses the endometrium, the blue line limits the myometrium, and the yellow arrow points to the perimetrium. Notice the presence of the simple tubular glands present in the mucosa, in the lamina propria of the connective tissue of the mucosa. Notice also the presence of blood vessels in the muscle layer, which is very characteristic for the uterus. هنا هنشوف بقى identify the organ. برضو we have noticed the presence of the endometrial glands, so this is the uterus. The layer indicated by the red line is the endometrium. The black star denotes the stroma. هنا هو اليوتراين stroma أو endometrial stroma connective tissue اللي هو هيكون فيه stromal cells. The yellow star denotes the myometrium. The green arrow points to the endometrial gland. Its appearance denotes secretory phase of this organ, which is under the effect of what? Of the progesterone hormone. Number 12, identify the organ. We have here a hollow organ. We have a lining very characteristic stratified squamous non-keratinized, so this is the vagina. The red line traverses the mucosa here from the epithelium to the start of the muscle. This is the mucosa, and this is the musculosa, inner circular and outer longitudinal. and the red arrow points to the non-keratinized stratified squamous epithelium. The blue star lies in the adventitia اللي هما كده 3 layers بتوعنا اللي هو الميوكوزا الماسكولوزا and the adventitia. Number 13, identify the section. It is masses of cells separated by white space containing RBCs. This is the placenta, of course. Green star denotes the maternal blood. The red circle surrounds the chorionic villus. Name the cells pointed to by the yellow arrow. These are the cells اللي هنا على السطح دي. This is the syncytial trophoblast. Mention at which time of gestation this specimen was obtained. طبعا after 4 months of gestation يعني دي late placenta لأن لاحظنا إن عندي بس syncytial trophoblast with no cytotrophoblast. وبرضو لو حبينا نتأكد هنبص نلاقي إن عندي برضو syncytial knots موجودة هنا وهنا اللي هي collections of nuclei of أهو كمان ده عشان نبقى متأكدين تماما إن إحنا دخلنا فعلا في later half of pregnancy. بس أهم حاجة هو the presence of one layer of syncytial trophoblast with no cytotrophoblast. Here identify the organ and very specific. These are الأورجن ده هو طبعا we have هنا ducts وفي connective tissue stroma. الأورجن هو المفروض المامري gland. طب be specific يعني إيه؟ لازم نقول resting mammary gland. The yellow arrows points to the ducts. The blue star lies in the connective tissue stroma. أو lies in the connective tissue stroma. Number 15, identify the organ. ولو قال لك specific هنقول طبعا هنا هنبص نلاقي دي lactating mammary gland. اليلو stars lies in the connective tissue. The green arrows point to the acini. هنا الacini اللي هي بتطلع السكريشن. They contain milk اللي هو باين acidophilic في الappearance بالlow power دي. This organ is in lactating state. تمام. Give 2 reasons for your answers اللي هو the presence of the acini و less amount of the connective tissue septa in between. يبقى ده وجود الacini وانكماش الconnective tissue septa وطبعا the presence of milk in the acini. يعني ممكن the presence of acini full of milk secretion which is acidophilic and the marked reduction in the connective tissue septa in the section.